Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Sold Out Classes. This is a masterclass designed to help you sell out your classes and fill a room full of yogis, create a profitable yoga business. So let's dive right in. You can see in the photo, in this image right here, that is my new studio, only 3 months old. Full room of yogis, packing it out, having so much fun. And I know this is exactly what you want too, which is why you're here today and which is exactly what we're going to go into. All right. So if you're ready to make yoga your full time gig, you're passionate about the practice, like myself, and excited to share it with as many people as possible, and you're excited about filling your yoga room, you have landed in the exact right spot. So, who am I? Why should you even listen to me? My name is Rachel Friedman. I am a studio owner myself 3 times over. I opened my first yoga studio 15 years ago. And about 2 years into studio ownership, I decided I wanted a yoga studio closer to my home. At the time, my first studio was about 45 minutes from my home. And I had two small children. I had a 2 and a 5-year-old. And I really wanted to begin to create a community that was also the community that I hung out in. And so I sold my half of my business to my old business partner, took the money, invested it in a studio that was about a mile from my house. While I was opening that studio, one of my teachers came to me and she said, "Rachel, I really want a studio too. Can I go in with you?" So I decided, what the heck? I would let her in on my dream, and so we opened our this location. It did amazing. About 5 years in, though, my business partner and I were really struggling, seeing eye to eye on a lot of things, on how we wanted to run things. So at that point, I decided to sell her my part. I decided at this point I would go test the waters of just having a yoga business without a brick and mortar. So, took the pause from studio ownership, created a multiple six-figure yoga and coaching business online. And then just a couple months ago, I decided I was craving that community. So, if you know anything about human design, I am a manifester. I am also part of my human design is a community connector. And so there we go. It's like in my bones, it's in my soul to bring people together. So now we are almost 4 months in, 3.5 months in, and I have a brand new baby who I'm absolutely in love with. So you can say, I have done this. I've done it in the brick and mortar space. I've done it online. I went to people's homes for several years. I have done it in pretty much every fashion you can. And you can make every single one of these successful if that is your desire. And that's what I want to help you see today. And I also want to help you know and help you believe in you that you can do it. So I have helped dozens of people be able to get their yoga and, yes, now coaching businesses off the ground and making money, signing clients, serving people, and having so much fun while we're doing it. I am a mom. I have two teenagers, and I am also a stepmom to triplets. My husband and I have 5 kids together between the ages of 16 and 20. And it is wild, my friends. Having 4 kids in college at once, it's a little scary to say the least. So, here are our takeaways for today's class. I want you to discover exactly what is needed in order to fill your classes with students. Pack out the room if that is what you are craving. I want you to understand what's keeping them from coming back consistently. And I'm going to introduce you to my 3 parts framework that's going to help you create your own profitable business. All right. If you want a yoga business, a profitable yoga business, you have landed yourself in the exact right spot. You want to wake up every day excited about your work and eager to serve your clients. You want to stop waking up to a job that bores the living hell out of you. Maybe it's even sucking the life out of you. You want to feel confident in your ability to create clients and have a waiting list of students wanting to work with you. You want to know that there is money in the bank for you to fully enjoy your life, whether that is to pay your bills, travel the world like I want to, or explore deeper into the depths of yoga. But let me guess, if you're listening right now, maybe you're struggling to get consistent clients and you're not sure what the fuck to do. All right. So if you're carving out time right now in your day to prep for your classes, pick the perfect songs for your playlist, practicing your sequence over and over, and then three, maybe four people show up, it can feel really discouraging. And I want to help you transition from this place where either you have three or four students, or maybe even one or two, to this place where you have 10, 12, 20, 30 students, if that is what you are craving. So I want to introduce you just a few of the ladies that I have had the pleasure to support and work with. I want you to meet Sarah first. When we first met, she was teaching 6 classes a week and working a 9 to 5 job. She was exhausted and she really wanted to leave her day job so she could focus solely on her yoga business. But she was terrified, my friends, terrified. She was terrified she wouldn't be able to make enough money to support herself. She was teaching 6 classes a week at 3 different studios. Each class was averaging 4 students, which in no way was enough to enable her to go full time into yoga. The places she was working were paying her per student. So she saw so much potential if she could just increase the amount of bodies coming to class consistently. So, what did we do? Well, first off, I knew Sarah had great skills because I had actually gotten the chance to be in a class of hers. But she wasn't creating a powerful connection with her students that drew them in so they wanted to consistently show up on their mat. She was constantly trying to create new students, which was exhausting, of course. And it was creating this driving around town where she was teaching at so many different places. So after 2 months of working together, a few very minor tweaks to her teaching, her classes doubled, and that meant so did her income. Her confidence skyrocketed. And it increased so much that she could now see this path that we began to design and create for her, where she could leave her 9 to 5 job. Maybe you identify with Sarah. Maybe there's parts of you that feel like you're so much like her. She did it. And what I want you to know, so can you. Let me introduce you to Amy. Amy's a full time mom and really wanted to have something of her own outside of just taking care of her kids. She didn't want to teach at a gym and she was really struggling to get a studio class. So while she was trying to land a studio gig, she decided she would start teaching at local parks, and also doing some stuff in her neighborhood, had a clubhouse. And along the way, she found a local coffee shop and she was able to start classes there too. Now, in these classes, she was averaging 4 to 5 people, but she really wanted to grow this class to 20 plus. She knew then she would have a lot of extra cash flow to really be able to do all the things she wanted. And a lot of it was she wanted to go on lots of luxurious retreats, she wanted to do more travel, and she really wanted to just be able to treat herself without feeling any guilt whatsoever. She also had this desire to start doing some one on one work because she knew after we had spoken together that there was so much opportunity there. So, when we first met, Amy had no idea, though, in terms of marketing, how she was going to really get her name out there and how she was going to bring these clients in. Now, like I mentioned, she didn't have the pressure or the stress of having to support her family, but she still had such a desire to create this business for herself. It was quite beautiful. And, Amy was really afraid of being seen. She was afraid of other people's thoughts and judgments and what they would be saying about her. So we had to go right to work on this. We had to clean up a lot of some old stories living in her subconscious so she could be visible and she could truly show up as herself. That is essential, guys, especially if you want to grow a profitable yoga business. Look, after a few months of us working together, Amy's classes were averaging 20 plus students. She had 3 privates, and she has this amazing marketing strategy that works for her, guys. And it's not having a huge online presence. And I really think it's important to point that out because let's be real, not all of us want to be all over social media. And I want you to know that is one way to grow your business, but it is by far not the only way. My very first business was as a personal trainer 20 years ago. I grew it to 6 figures and it was pre social media. Maybe social media was just coming out, but I want to tell you, I did not use it at all. And I want you to know that you can do it too if this is what you desire. Okay, the last person I want you to meet for now is Maggie. The first step for Maggie, guys, was we had to transition her from the employee mindset to the CEO mindset. Look, Maggie was bought into a studio that already existed. It was a local studio. Her mentor was closing the doors, was ready to move on to new adventures, but Maggie really saw something in the studio. She loved this little community they had, and she decided, I'm going to take the chance on this and go all in. She bought the studio from her mentor. When she bought it, it was barely breaking even. And right away, Maggie decided, I need to get some support to grow this the way I want. She knew she had a really great team right behind her, but she wasn't really quite sure how to mobilize them to get them on board to really create a community, because the community is a huge part when it comes to a studio that gets people wanting to come back time and time again. So we transitioned from showing Maggie, I showed Maggie, I helped her begin to transition from thinking like an employee to thinking like a CEO. And this is really important. And we're going to go into this later on. But when we got her out of that employee mindset and we got her thinking like a CEO, she was able to now empower her staff to help her promote the classes, promote her brand, and really grow this beautiful community. And then through teaching her the connection method, which we will get into, we were able to grow her class sizes from 3 to 4 students, guys, to 12 students per class. This was huge because in a matter of months, she went from barely breaking even to being profitable. So look, guys, if you are wanting to have a brick and mortar, 100% we can create it and we can make it profitable. If you are wanting an online yoga business, there's so much potential. If you're wanting to do privates, if you're wanting to do retreats, workshops, there is so many areas in this field that we have to get creative and to make it into a business for ourselves. But in order to be able to do that, we have to first be able to identify where we are so we can then begin to pave a path for where we want to go. So there's 4 stages that I see most yoga teachers go through and that they come to me in. So I want to walk you through these stages to help you identify where you're at right now so you can begin to identify the pieces that you need to work on to get you where you want to be. So there is the newbie. This is the teacher who either recently got certified or someone who just doesn't have a ton of teaching under their belt yet. Still feels nervous when it comes to putting a sequence together. Now, this teacher, just like the ones to come, is passionate. And that's what I want you to know. That is the most, probably not the most, but one of the core pieces here. Okay. Passionate about the practice and wants so badly to be a good teacher who's filling her classes, his classes, and having people say, oh, wow, thank you so much. And I can't wait for your next class. This newbie teacher She knows that she wants to have a yoga business. But when it comes to the business side of it, which let's be real, guys, learning the skill of yoga is a skill. Learning the skill of business is a totally separate skill that she feels pretty uncertain, and all of it feels quite overwhelming. We've got the grounded teacher. So this teacher's built up her confidence in her teaching. She's comfortable with cueing and sequencing. She hasn't, though, quite tapped into her own style. She's still teaching like her mentors and often finds herself copying other teachers. Classes do okay, maybe 2 to 3 students, but she wants to be able to teach more and find ways to support herself through yoga. When it comes to marketing and selling, it's all very new. Okay, so the third tier is the skilled teacher. She knows who she is as a teacher and feels like she is sharing herself authentically and creatively in line with her values and her personality. Her classes consistently bring students, and students are applauding her for her creativity and her wisdom. She's bouncing around from studio to studio and working her butt off. And honestly, probably a bit exhausted and drained by the end of the day. One of my recent clients told me she labeled it that she feels like a yoga whore. It made me giggle, and it's such an accurate description. I remember feeling like this myself. So maybe right now you feel a little bit like a yoga whore too, where you're at so many different places, bouncing from one class to the next, and still feeling like it's just not quite enough. So she wants a business that feels easeful, just like a well-balanced yoga practice. She knows that she has gifts to offer, but hasn't quite figured out how to package her services in a way that make her business grow consistently and without so much effort. Now, most people I find fall into one of the first three. Pardon me, the first three. But there is a fourth. There is a fourth level. And this, my friends, is the yoga CEO. The yoga CEO doesn't just see herself as a teacher now, but she understands that she is running a business. She values her time and her energy and fully understands how to capitalize on her knowledge and her wisdom. Now, she teaches a few public classes per week, which I do encourage with all of my clients, even my studio owners, of course, and focus the rest of her time supporting her clients one-on-one, creating courses, leading retreats, and workshops. Look, why do I encourage still teaching group classes if possible? Because it's such a great funnel for all your other offers. Now, she is bringing in 5 to 10K a month and is able to live comfortably, travel, attend workshops, festivals, retreats, and do trainings that keep her feeling super connected to her work. And she loves her business, and it all feels so in alignment. Think about it, guys. We're teaching yoga and we want the body to align so it feels right. Now, I am not an Anusara teacher. I don't believe in strict alignment, but I do believe that each human has alignment that is right for them. And that is what we must tap into. And we must tap into that for our physical bodies, right? In order to create strength and flexibility, to reduce pain. But we also have to do that in our business. And our business must be in alignment with who we are, our values, right? Our personality. And in order to do that, we got to get to know all these parts. All right, my friends. So I'm really curious right now. Which stage do you fall in? Go ahead, self-identify. And just make note of it, not from a place of judgment or criticism, just so you know where you are starting from. All right, things that I have seen so many people have tried, and I want to talk a little bit about why they may not be working. Posting flyers on social media, like, here's my class time, here's where it's located. Creating reels of you doing a class. posting flyers at coffee shops, journaling, praying, meditating, visualizing. Now, none of these are bad. None of these are wrong. I'm not telling you not to do them. They're just not in general what is going to get people coming to your classes and coming back for more consistently. They're also not what's going to help you turn your business into a money making, um, revenue generating business. So, what do we have to do? All right, guys, these are the three pieces that your business must have, in my opinion. After 15 years of being in this industry, helping and supporting lots of people, number one is connection teaching. And this is probably something many of you have never heard of because I made it up. It's my process, and it is what has created students coming back, following me for 15 plus years, traveling 30 minutes, even further to come to my classes. We're going to go into in a moment just what it is, what it entails. The second piece of your business is you must have a signature process. The third piece, which is the foundation, is your CEO identity. Just like the foundation of our body is our core, right? That's what allows us to go into crow, right? It's what allows us to get into so many postures. It's also what helps eliminate a lot of pain in our body when it's strong, when it is flexible. Our business is no different. It has a foundation and it is your CEO identity. So let's go into these pieces. Let's go a little deeper. Okay, so let's first talk about this connection teaching method. All of business is just relationship building. Guys, the relationship begins the moment someone comes into contact with your work. It is happening all the fucking time. If you teach group classes, it's the second they walk in the door. It continues as you lead the class and after the class. It's how you show up as a teacher. Guys, it's so important that when you're teaching, that you are being yourself. And that's what I mean. We've got to define your style. For example, my style is silly. I like to crack jokes. I like to make it fun. I can be inappropriate. I say the F bomb a lot. And it's not for everyone, but the people that love me, and they keep coming back for more. So we've got to define your style. We've got to get you building relationships everywhere you go. Here's a perfect example. I walked into Athleta the other day because one of my teachers had a pair of pants and I wanted to check them out because they were adorable. As soon as I walked in, I started looking around. One of the sales girls started talking to me. I made sure to listen to her and really create a connection with her because who knows? Maybe she is a potential client. Guess what? By the time I left, she had the information from my studio. She had a free class and I had her signed up. Okay. The relationships are happening everywhere we go. They happen when we're shopping at the grocery store. They happen when we're picking up our kids. They happen when we're out to dinner. They're happening all the time. When we show up in our class, they're happening. We must learn to teach our students people, not poses. And if you're staying the entire time on your mat, my friends, there's a huge disconnect. We must get off the yoga mat and watch the bodies, teach to the bodies, connect with the bodies, give people what they need, what they desire. People want to be seen and witnessed. And there is not enough of it in our society when we can do this. And I teach you exactly how to do this in the Yoga Business Accelerator. But when we do this, magic happens. And this is how we create a successful yoga business. We must learn how to implement what I call graceful vulnerability. Now, this is not just being vulnerable and telling everyone all your problems and just laying it out there. There is a way that we learn to share, but from our sharing, we are empowering and inspiring our students, helping them believe and see that they can do it too. When you share pieces of you, people feel witnessed and seen by you. They feel stronger. They feel a stronger connection to you. And I can promise you, it makes life lifelong clients. So let's take a moment to rate ourselves. I want you to rate yourself. Red light, stop, frozen. I'm not doing any of this right now. Again, no judgment. Yellow light, I'm doing a little bit of it, but I see that there's lots of room still here for improvement. Green light, I am going. I've got a rhythm going. I got my own unique style. I'm teaching to people, not just postures. I'm able to weave in the vulnerability. I'm flying. Rate yourself, and then we're going to move on to the next piece. But before I move on, I just want to let you guys know this first piece, it is what gets people coming back for more. It is also the missing piece for so many teachers. And if you are not implementing all these pieces, then very likely this is the first hole that needs to be addressed in your business. All right, let's move on. Your signature process. Okay. So we've got to define your niche. And if you don't have one yet, that's no big deal. That's something we also do in the Business Accelerator. Okay. Who do you serve? And is it specific to a result people want? One of the biggest problems I see when people come into my world is that they're just selling the yoga. Now, the yoga is the vehicle. I want you to think the yoga is like the airplane ride. But when we're marketing and selling people, we are selling them on the destination. We're selling them the beach, right? With the ocean and the waves, the pina colada in hand. So, do you have a niche? And do you right now know the results that your people want? And if not, we want to narrow it down and figure it out. Now, the second piece is to define your delivery process. How do you deliver your services? Right now, are you teaching group classes? And then what is going to be your money generating source of income? Is it one-on-ones? Is it doing small groups? Is it doing courses, workshops, retreats? We have to create your own delivery container. Now, the third piece is, do you have a process or a methodology? Do you have steps that you're going to take people through to get them to that result that they're desiring? And if not, we need to create that for you. We need to create your own signature process, your own methodology. So when you go to market and sell, it's very clear and people will be like, yeah, I got it. I understand. Yes, I want this. And I trust and I believe in you. That is so important. Remember, all a business is relationships, and we've got to trust in the people in order to invest in them. And then the last piece is marketing and selling with ease. We have to create processes and systems that work for you. The one I use may or may not work for you, but I can guarantee you there is one that works for you. Some of this is testing and evaluating until we find what works for you. And it's different for everyone because we're all different, right? We all have different bodies. We all have different personalities. We have different ways that we want to show up in this world. But there is one out there for every single one of us. And it's helpful, I want you to know, to have support as you're doing this, because we have blind spots where we just can't see what we can't see. But an outside person can come in, they can evaluate it from a very neutral perspective, and then they can help us see what we're not seeing. And that's such a huge part of the Business Accelerator in our coaching sessions, where you're going out and testing stuff. And then together, we get to evaluate it. And we get to notice what are those 1% and 2% shifts that need to happen, because that's all it usually is. All right, my friends. So how are you doing? How are you doing in the signature process portion of your business? Red is, oh my God, I didn't know I needed any of this. Yellow is, I'm tippy-toeing into it. I've got a little bit of it going. And green is, I'm going. I'm good. Maybe I need some refinement, but I'm on the right path. Again, we're just measuring so we have a place where we know we are, because I always like to have that, right? When I get in my car and let's say go to the yoga studio, if I don't put in ways where I currently am, it's going to take me on some roundabout crazy way to get there. And I want the most straightforward, fastest way I can get there, right? We only have so much time and energy, and we don't want to be wasting it. All right, guys, the last piece is your core, your CEO identity. How do you think and feel about yourself as a teacher? This is important. We want to believe in ourselves 10 out of 10. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. But then there's work in this area. How do you think and feel about yoga? Do you believe it is the next best thing to sliced bread? Do you believe it's like the cure to cancer? I do, right? How do you think and feel about your business? And an important one that often is not thought of is, do you believe other people will spend money and invest with you? So often people come to me and they have no belief in their ability to attract clients that will want to invest with them. And this is essential because if you don't believe in them, how are they going to believe in them? I tell my clients all the time, I believe in you 100%. I have so much belief in my clients that I tell them, borrow my belief in you until you have it on your own. And then you won't need mine anymore. But I have enough for both of us. The next piece is money hygiene. What are your thoughts about money? A lot of the times I find with a lot of yogis is we got to clean up a lot of the money drama. People, I had to clean up so much of my money drama. I had so much lack mentality when I first got into this work. And I can tell you that lack mentality, it will slow you the fuck down. We got to clean that shit up. And then the last piece is developing that CEO mentality. So it's learning how to actually be efficient with your time, think like a CEO, work like a CEO, and delegate like a CEO. Remember, this is a business now, and we've got to look at it, think about it, treat it like one. So, how are you doing, guys? How are you doing with your CEO identity? Red light, frozen. Yellow light, going slow. Green light, on your way. Again, absolutely no judgment. We are where we are, but knowing where we are is exactly how we're going to pave the path for where we want to be. So, what do you need to sell out your classes? You need to connect with your students. You need to teach them beyond the postures. You've got to teach them to connect with themselves. You have to connect with yourself, and then you've got to show them how to connect with themselves. You have to be authentic. You have to have your own style, and you've got to be able to implement vulnerability without dumping it on your people. And in order to create a profitable yoga business, you need the three pieces we just covered, right? You need to have the connective side of your teaching, the relationship building. You need to have a process that is your signature process. And then, of course, we need to have that CEO mentality. So we're now at a point where you have two choices in your business, my friends. You can go at all of this on your own, like I did. So I did, in full honesty, spend probably about the first almost 10 years doing it on my own. And I wasted a lot of time, a lot of energy, and I'm going to say even money by not investing because money was lost from clients that I was unable to serve because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And it was like throwing spaghetti against the wall. I was constantly frustrated. And I was questioning myself all the time, wondering what I was missing and what was wrong with me. And I don't want this for you guys, but I do know some of you will take this route. But then there's a second choice: get support, invest in your business, invest in yourself. So you can get support from someone like myself who has done this several times over, save a lot of time, guys, a lot of aggravation, get your sleepless nights back, and start making money now. So often when we think of investing, we think, oh, I don't want to part with that money. But what we forget is that investment can then double and triple and quadruple, which is exactly what has happened for me over the years, which I know is 100% available for you. So what does getting support with me look like? the Yoga Business Accelerator. It is a 4-month group coaching program. You're going to learn everything you need, guys, to have a yoga business that is not bringing in 5K plus months. And without hustling, guys, I think that's really important. We didn't become entrepreneurs to burn ourselves out from the early morning to late at night. That is not what I want for you. So what will you achieve? First off, I am going to teach you the connecting teaching method. I will have lots of modules for you in this area, how to build relationships that turn into lifelong students. We're going to define your unique style. I'm going to teach you how to teach people, not poses. And of course, we're going to implement the graceful vulnerability into your teaching. We're then going to create your signature process. We're going to define your niche, define how you deliver, what your offers are. We're going to create your own signature method. We're going to create an easy lead generating system for you. So we're going to market and we're going to sell with ease. We're going to do it all with incredible confidence because that is a requirement, my friends. And of course, we're going to create your CEO identity the entire time. Okay. So we're going to build a solid foundation from what I call belief integration. We're going to clean up any money drama right away. And we're going to develop that CEO mentality on the way of working with on your business and in your business. So how much is it, right? That's everyone's question always. The accelerator is $4,000. It's 4 payments of 1,000 or 8 payments of 500. For those who pay the $4,000 in full, you will get a one-on-one business strategy session with me. It's an hour and a half where we're going to dive into your business personally, just you and I, and we're going to map out everything you need to get going. If you decide to take the payment plan, no worries. We will have 16 coaching sessions, guys. We are going to meet weekly for 4 months where we're going to dive into everything you're learning in the modules, where you will have plenty of time to ask lots of questions and get coached on anything that is coming up for you, whether it is mindset, strategy, implementation, or technology based. Now, what kind of questions come up? I pointed out a few common questions that I have heard. Do I have to be an experienced teacher to do this program? No. You have to be passionate. You have to believe, though, that you have something to offer to people. If you're not there yet, then I want you to work on that first. What if I'm afraid to be seen on camera? No worries. We're going to work through it. And if for whatever reason you decide you don't want to offer things online, it's totally okay. You don't need to. You can do everything in person in your local community. Do I have to market myself using social media? I think I already addressed this, but the answer is no. It is an option. It is one of the ways that we will talk about. It is by far not the only way. What if I can't make all the calls? No problem. We will have every single call uploaded within 24 hours so you can watch the replay. And of course, post any questions. We will have a Facebook group, and you will also, let me mention, have access to me through Voxer to ask questions. And I will leave in the Voxer app answers to your questions best I can, or I'll tell you that we'll address it on the next call. Another question, I didn't write it down, but it just came up earlier today when I was talking to someone about the fact that she said, well, maybe I just need to do another certification for my teaching because I think I just need to become a better teacher first. Here's the thing, guys. If you have a 200-hour certification, I'm going to guess if you're on this call, you've probably even have more than a 200-hour. For most of you, I'm going to tell you, you don't need another certification. Not right now. We need to start getting your business up, running, and making money. Another certification is not going to make you more money. Full honesty, I lead yoga teacher training. I've been leading it for over a decade, and we don't have enough time to teach people how to run a yoga business. We're given like an hour for the yoga business piece. This is a whole nother skill set, and that is why we are here today. This is learning the skill of creating and running your business. Yes, you need the skill to teach the people what you're passionate about. But if you don't have the skill to run a business, you aren't going to have any students to teach, my friends. So I really want to encourage you, if you're considering, if you're thinking, maybe this is for me, just go apply right now. Fill out the application. Let's jump on a call together. And together, let's figure out if this is a good fit. If it is not, I am going to send you the right place with the right resources of what your next steps are. If it is a good fit, then we'll onboard you, we'll get you dived right in so you can start working on your business right away and start making money and start serving more clients. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can hit reply to my emails. You can DM me on Instagram or Facebook. I am happy to answer them. And like I said, this is your opportunity. Get support for yourself. Don't waste time and energy. Don't waste money not doing what you love. Let's get your yoga business up, running, making money, you serving your clients. And let's be real, getting that natural high after every time you leave a client. It is the best feeling ever. Hit the link, apply today, and I'm going to give you $500 off just over the next 24 hours. So whoever applies for the next 24 hours, $500 off the total, and I'll see you inside the Yoga Business Accelerator.